Hello and welcome to Team 2's Assignment 2 on 3 select theoretical frameworks. My name is Zach, and I'll get us started on our exploration of these theories. We will begin with a land acknowledgement, quickly explain what a theoretical framework is, and then discuss our 3 specific theories with tangible examples. We would like to acknowledge that Royal Roads University is located on the ancestral and traditional lands of the Kosopsuan and Lekwungen families. With gratitude, we live, work, and learn where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. I invite you to take a moment to acknowledge the land you are joining us from today. Thank you. The theoretical framework consists of the selected theory or theories that undergirds your thinking with regards to how you understand and plan to research your topic, as well as the concepts and definitions from that theory that are relevant to your topic. The analogy of a house blueprint is used by Grant and Osanlu, and this provides some great insight into why these frameworks must be used. A house or research dissertation alike greatly benefits from applying rules and expectations before you start to build. There are several theories that can be applied to theoretical frameworks, including activity theory, cognitive load theory, mobile learning theory, adult learning theory, diffusion of innovation theory, universal design and learning theory, and the list could go on and on. Today we'll be covering 3 specifically: gamification theory, motivation theory, and personality theory. To start with gamification, I'll pass the mic to Corey.
Thank you, Zach. Gamification has been described as the use of game thinking and game mechanics in a non-game context to engage users and solve problems. Although there is a tendency to think that gamification requires the use of technologies to create interactive content, it isn't necessarily a requirement. Hakkarainen provides a great list separating what does and does not constitute gamification. Gamification is progress as the incentive, learning from failures, immediate and interactive feedback, intrinsic motivation. Gamification is not slapping points and badges onto an activity and expecting it to magically become more engaging, rewarding students with prizes, and needing to entertain students to learn. With this information, a good example of gamification is a platform called Kahoot! Kahoot! Is a learning platform to create and play learning games for all demographics of learners, from kindergarten through grade 12 schools to Fortune 500 companies. Some of those companies currently using Kahoot! Include Amazon, Facebook, Scotiabank, Cisco, and Google. Kahoot! Allows organizations to quickly create dynamic, gamified training, meetings, and presentations for almost all scenarios. From here, I'll let Allison go over motivation theory.
Thanks, Corey. Motivation is described by Ukar and Contempe as an impulse or series of impulses that drive people to act consciously and intentionally. The ability to motivate oneself and others is a challenge as old as time. Understanding the reasons behind motivation can be highly dynamic through the numerous characteristics and experiences of learners. Lean and Lang break down motivations in learners into 4 reasons. 1. Personal growth. 2. Motive of belonging. 3. Competition. And 4. Instrumentality. Some great examples are provided by Ukar and Contempe in the context of cultivating motivation in the classroom. This included sending reassuring group messages aimed at enhancing learners' confidence, bringing in a previous successful student to advocate and provide insight into any challenges they faced and strategies that they used, providing personal, confidence-building feedback, and encouraging messages to learners' persistence to achieve the desired goal. I will now encourage Katya to take on explaining personality theory.
Thanks, Allison. Personality theory studies examine how personality traits affect how an individual learns, performs, and is motivated. The 2 predominant methods to identify personality traits are the Big 5 personality traits and Myers-Briggs. Although these are very popular, it is worth noting there is a requirement for learners to have self-awareness in order to identify personality traits. The Big Five is perhaps the most popular and widely used. The theory proposes that personality is made up of 5 broad personality dimensions: agreeableness, conscientiousness, extroversion, neuroticism, and openness. A group of researchers gathered 19 studies to conclude that when it comes to computer-based learning, personality does affect motivation, performance, and how learners learn in computer-based education. More recently, new approaches are using data collection through learner analytics to then identify personality traits, track learner behaviors and actions within a learning system. Adapt2Me is an example of this new approach, using collected data to identify personality traits and adjust learning paths. Adapt2Me is in active development, but it is still able to build data profiles on learners, detect emotional states, and predict misconceptions in online courses. Upon identifying certain traits, the learning system can adjust question sequencing, adapt learning paths, and provide individual feedback to ensure a more personalized learning experience. Personality theory is our last theory to cover for today. I'll let Zach wrap things up.
Thanks, Katya. Now that we've covered our 3 theories, there is a natural inclination to reflect on some of their similarities and overlap. Gamification theory posits that gamification of learning enhances the learner's motivation by making the learning enjoyable. Personality theory supposes that the personality with which the learner identifies makes the learner more motivated in certain learning contexts. Motivation theory, depending on the approach taken by learning designers, bundles them all together and describes how the whole person is motivated to learn, depending on a number of factors. Undoubtedly, even more theories could be woven in to create your next theoretical framework, but we'll stop it here for this video. In closing, we would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our video. If you're interested in some of the resources we used in our video, I invite you to review the following references and credit slides. Take care.